Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our final webinar session for our doctoral students or our students are joining our EDD programs. My name is Amir Woods. I am the Student Support and Community Engagement Specialist for the College of Education. And today I am joined by my colleagues in the Office of Financial Aid. Today you will be joined by Ashley Briggs, who is the counselor and special programs coordinator in the Office of Financial Aid, and finally Flora Gaspar, who is the assistant director of state and special programs in the Office of Financial Aid. Once again, I would like to share that we do have a few housekeeping rules that I did put in the chat, but just to let you know, this session will be recorded. And after we conclude the webinar, there will be time for questions with our financial aid team. Please save your questions until then, and you will have the opportunity to type your question using the Q&A feature located in the bottom toolbar. Lastly, I will cover the College of Education scholarship application, which is available for the upcoming 2024-2025 academic year. I will share the link to apply and where you can find that. So once again, I will be covering the College of Education scholarship and where you can apply. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it along to my colleague, Ashley Briggs. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you. So, hi everybody. As Amir said, I'm Ashley Briggs and I am the Special Programs Counselor in the Office of Financial Aid. Today I'm going to talk to you about financial aid and EDD students. So here's a brief overview of what we'll be covering today. So I'm going to talk about applying for financial aid. Then I'll go over cost of attendance and what that means. And I'll talk a little bit about different types of financial aid available for EDD students, including loans and the EDD grant. I'll briefly cover disbursements. I'll talk about some important resources, and we'll have some time for questions. And then Amir will share some scholarship resources specifically for the College of Education. So when it comes to applying for financial aid, you would submit either your FAFSA or your California Dream Act, also known as CDA, application by April 2nd. The deadline is generally March 2nd, but there's been some changes with FAFSA this year, and they've pushed the deadline back to April 2nd. We don't know if that will be for every year, so try to keep the March 2nd date in mind. The links for the applications are here. The FAFSA can be found at studentaid.gov, and the CDA application can be found at dream.csac.ca.gov. And another important part of receiving your financial aid would be to check your to-do list on your student homepage. Sometimes there will be documents that you need to submit to our office, and if so, you would find them on your tasks tile in the portal. Generally, there is a deadline around the end of April, priority deadline. So just make sure to keep an eye always on your student email and your to-do list or your tasks list in your student homepage. And how do you know which application to submit? For FAFSA, it's for US citizens or eligible non-citizens that have a valid Social Security number. And the California Dream Act will be for students that live in California and meet the AB 540 eligibility requirements and have a U visa or TPS status. So here is an example of a cost of attendance for the current year. So this is for 2023, 2024. These numbers will be changing for the upcoming year, and pretty much yearly they change. And the 12-month cost for these programs is around $53,000. Again, that will change every year, but this is a 3-year program, which is year round, and it's a special program, which means that it has a mandatory summer. So here on this slide, we have a breakdown of the academic year costs for the program. including the fees, the books and supplies, the food and housing, the miscellaneous, the transportation, and the loan fees. And then we have the off-campus summer cost here as well. And these numbers are given to us essentially from the chancellor's office. And like I said, they're updated annually. If students are non-residents, then they have an additional tuition amount of $396 per unit. So that's something to keep in mind. There's various types of financial aid that EDD students are eligible for. The first one we'll discuss are loans. So there's the federal direct unsubsidized loan, which you would be eligible for 20,500 annually generally. And because it's a year-round program, this is divided into 3 semesters. So it would be fall, spring, and summer. So it comes out to around 6,833 per semester in unsubsidized loan eligibility. There's also the Graduate Plus loan, and this can be awarded up to your cost of attendance minus any other aid that you're already receiving. So if you already have the federal direct unsubsidized loan, you would subtract that from your cost of attendance, and then that would generate your eligibility for Graduate Plus loan. If you are interested in taking out a Graduate Plus loan, there's 2 applications to submit. There's one paper, I say paper in quotes because it's electronic now, but once upon a time it was paper. And I guess you can still submit paper, but most students do submit it electronically for the ease. But anyway, so one paper application to Cal State Fullerton Office of Financial Aid, and then one to the Department of Education. And so this application is online for the Department of Education, and you can find that at studentaid.gov. But just keep in mind that there's 2 places that you would apply essentially, and it would be with our Office of Financial Aid at Cal State Fullerton, and then also with the Department of Education. There's also the option of private student loans, and similar to the Graduate Plus loan, these can be taken out up to your cost of attendance minus any other aid. And a private student loan is essentially an educational loan from a banking institution of your choice. If you have a credit union that you prefer, you can go there and ask them for an educational loan. Sometimes the interest rates may be better. You just have to find what works best for you and your situation. And if you are a DREAM Act applicant, you can also request a DREAM loan, and this would be $4,000 per year. And again, this is only for the DREAM loan applicants. This wouldn't be for FAFSA applicants. And the other types of aid are generally only for FAFSA applicants. So there's also the EDD grant that EDD students can potentially be eligible for. And the EDD grant assists with covering a portion of the tuition. It's a unique type of aid because it's awarded after census of the current term to eligible students. So it's not a type of aid that's awarded at the beginning of the year like the loan aid would be. So we anticipate for fall 2024 that it would be awarded around mid-October. And the award eligibility and amounts for this grant vary each year. So they can go from 800 to 2,000 per term. And it just depends on the funding allocation from the department for the grant, the student aid index, which was formerly known as the EFC, or the expected family contribution. And then it also depends on the number of EDD students enrolled in the program. And there's various criteria to receive the EDD grant. We have the student aid index that must be under a certain amount. For the current year, for 2023-2024, it's at 23,202. I anticipate that this will change for the upcoming year, so just keep that in mind. Another eligibility criteria is that must be a California resident or have a B540 approval if you're a CDA student. Must also be enrolled in a minimum of 6 units. And you can't have a third-party payment or waiver that covers your full tuition. Because it's a tuition-based grant, you can't have more than one party paying your full tuition. If you do have a partial tuition payment, third-party payment or waiver, then you can still be considered for that additional amount that's not covered by that waiver. And here's a example of how the financial aid works. This is from the 2022-2023 year, but it's similar. It's the same moving forward because the eligibility for the federal direct unsubsidized loan is $20,500. So we can see here, this is the fall semester, and we have 6,834. Then we have the spring semester, and it's 6,833. The award amounts may vary by $1 because if you take 20,500 and divide it by 3, it's actually 6,833.333333. So we add that on to the fall semester. And then spring 6,833, summer 6,833. So that's how the loan eligibility works by dividing it by the 3 semesters. And then as far as disbursements are concerned, the funds for disbursements are released 10 days before the start of each semester. And this is a federal regulation that we have to follow. And so accepted financial aid is first applied towards your outstanding balance of tuition and campus-based fees. And then any remaining funds are dispersed directly to you. If you are signed up for direct deposit, you would receive the money in about 2 to 3 days. And if you prefer a mailed paper check, it can take about 2 to 3 weeks or so, just depending on mail. If you haven't signed up for direct deposit or you're interested in signing up for direct deposit, you can do that in your portal. There should be a tile for it. And here we have some important resources for EDD students. I had mentioned this link earlier, but it's the U.S. Department of Education and FAFSA information resource. And so that is www.studentaid.gov. This is where you would apply for FAFSA and then also for the Graduate Plus loan. If you have specific questions about your account or how Cal State Fullerton financial aid works with EDD students, we have a ticketing system that you can contact us by. And that can be found at this link. Or if you go to our website, there's a contact us section. And if you click there, then it's pretty easy to navigate to ask the question. You don't have to be a current student. You can also be a prospective student to use our ticketing system. And if you'd like to call us, you can do that as well. Our phone number is provided here, 657-278-3125. We do have phone hours Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And on Wednesday, our phone hours start at 12:30 p.m. and they end at 5:30 p.m. And if you'd prefer to come visit us in person, we also have office hours. And those are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 to 5. And then on Wednesday, we open at 12:30 and we close at 5. And if you'd like to meet with a counselor, we do have Zoom and phone counseling appointments available. You can either stop by to schedule an appointment or give us a call at that phone number or even use the ticketing system to get the ball rolling on scheduling an appointment to meet with a counselor. And that is the end of the presentation. So now we can take some questions. You can type them in the Q&A. Let's see. Okay. So the first question is, you mentioned earlier to apply by March 2nd. Did you mean April 2nd? This year, I do mean April 2nd. The deadline has been extended, so you can be considered a priority student if you apply by April 2nd. In previous years, it's been March 2nd, and in the future, it could stay March 2nd. So that's why I mentioned March 2nd to just try to keep that date in mind. April 2nd might just be a one-off for this year because of so much change that has happened with the FAFSA. And we have a question. Could we still be eligible for the EDD grant alongside a tuition fee waiver if we work at Cal State Fullerton? From my understanding, the tuition waiver only covers up to part-time graduate tuition, which currently is at $2,082. Tuition will be changing for the next couple years, but currently it's at $2,082. So because it doesn't cover that full amount of tuition, you should still be eligible for EDD grant alongside the tuition fee waiver. And then we have another question. What would meeting with a counselor entail? Do they help assess what you might be eligible for? Yes, so meeting with a counselor could be if you had a change in income. We could look into an income appeal for you to essentially use your current financial situation instead of your previous situation if it's more reflective or if it's changed, because the FAFSA does go off prior year. So sometimes people's situations have changed in 2 years. So we can do income appeals. If you do need help, assessing what you might be eligible for, you can give our office a call, and you may not need to meet with a counselor to do that. Whoever answers the phone might be able to assist you, but if it is something that's a little bit more advanced or requires a little bit more research, maybe, counselors will be available to assist you. So we have a question. Can we get the link for the EDD grant? So there's no link that you would apply for or use to apply for the EDD grant. You're automatically considered if you meet this various eligibility criteria here. So an SAI, Student Aid Index, formerly known as EFC, under a certain amount, California resident or AB 540 approval, 6-unit minimum of enrollment, and no third-party payments or waivers that covers your full tuition. If you were interested in the link to the Grad Plus loan, you could find that at studentaid.gov, this link here. And then we have another question. It says, I believe I saw scholarships available on the Fullerton website. Does that only apply to prospective undergraduate students? It's hard to say because I don't know which scholarship you're looking at, but generally, scholarships should be open to all types of students. Doesn't matter if you're an undergrad or grad or doctoral student. If you weren't seeing maybe a doctoral student option, you can always choose graduate student and go from there.
I want to add one more thing, if we don't have any more questions right now. Um, as Ashley mentioned regarding the changes for the 24-25 FAFSA, with FAFSA simplification, if we have any prospective students right now, new students typically get awarded, timeline of an award usually happens in April, but because of FAFSA simplification, as you see this year, the deadline was extended to April 2nd. Therefore, financial aid offers will probably not be available until May. So we are expecting to see delays. Potentially, we don't know if it's going to be, a month. It could be maybe a little bit more than that. But all the CSUs, all the UCs, all the universities right now, because of the extension of the deadline, it will extend the offer, the timeline of when you'll see an offer. And the same will probably apply for our continuing students. So if you are a continuing student and you typically see your financial aid offer during the month of June, this year, that might be potentially also a delay since we are delaying the awards for the new students. It may also cause a delay on the continuing students. But you will be able to see updates on your account If we see that there's going to be further delays, we will be communicating with our students either through social media or emails, just keeping everyone involved and aware of any changes that are drastically affecting this year's FAFSA due to the applications not being available to our campuses yet.
Thank you, Flora, for adding that. Much appreciated. All right, folks, do we have any other questions? Feel free to add those into the Q&A if you have any questions. All righty. Well, thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate it. Thank you, Flora, as well, for donating your time to answer the questions that our students had this evening. So the moment that you all have been waiting for, if you're looking for other options of funding, once again, if you are just now joining, my name is Demir Woods, and I am the Student Success and Community Engagement Specialist for the College of Education. So we do encourage our students to apply for our College of Education scholarships. The priority deadline to apply is April 1st. The following award disbursements will be for the upcoming fall term, which is the fall 2024 term, and decisions will be made by email by June of this year. Please note you are eligible to apply before an admissions decision has been made from the program. So if you're still applying and you're looking to join our program for this upcoming academic year, we do encourage you to apply for our scholarships. And you may be awarded up to $3,500 for the academic year, which means those funds will be available for the fall and spring terms. One application is needed for a decision to be made. And what I wanted to show is where you can actually find this information as well. Let me go ahead and also drop another link in the chat as well. But this is where you can get in touch with me if you have any questions and would like to connect with me. That is my direct webpage where you can see a list of some of the services that I provide for our students in our programs, and also how you can make an appointment, and also additional campus services to get acquainted with. And are we able to show the scholarship? All right, perfect. Yeah, there's my website right there. And also right here, if you click on scholarships and financial aid on the left panel, it will take you to the College of Education scholarships and financial aid page. So I know some of you all asked where you can find the recorded sessions. That link is right there at the top where you can click on the College of Education YouTube channel. Once again, this session will be uploaded soon, so that you can review some of the valuable information that was shared today. But once again, for the scholarship application, if you click on that link, it would automatically open up another tab or a window, and it will require you for you to log in with your email information so that you can move forward. So if you do have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm here to support you in any way possible. And if you don't have any questions, we want to tell you thank you for joining our session. I would like to give a huge shout out to my colleagues in the Office of Financial Aid, Ashley Briggs and Flora Gaspar. And once again, we will be uploading this information for you soon. You can also find the YouTube channel by going on the College of Education homepage at ed.fullerton.edu. And you can contact me directly at aawoods@fullerton.edu. So once again, thank you for joining this session. We wish you all the best for our students who are continuing our programs and those who are looking to join this current upcoming academic year. Thank you, and go Titans. Take care. Bye.